I originally wasn't going to review this game because I seriously hated the first game, and it was because of its story. I really hated what Aloy went through in the beginning with the whole outcast thing, and if you want to see exactly why, I'll leave a link in the description to the video I made like years ago. So going into Forbidden West, I had extremely low expectations with this game. And surprisingly, it's not a bad game. I'll admit that. The gameplay is pretty good. I was having a lot of fun just kind of exploring and all that. And one of the biggest draws I feel is the graphics. All the gameplay you're seeing right now is on the PS4 version of this game, and it still looks unbelievably good. The water graphics, the attention to detail of the actual like foliage and the grass and the rocks and all that stuff, it just looks insane. So they definitely took the graphics and they stepped it up a notch and blew it out of the park. Especially because I'm playing it on the PS4. It's unbelievable. The performance is crazy too. Like I never had at one point a stutter or a lag or anything. It was just solid 30. And originally I thought this was a PS5 exclusive because I saw the graphics and I was like, there's no way the PS4 could do that. But it did. Another thing that's really well done in this game is the voice acting and the motion capture. It's so believable. I feel like I'm actually looking at real actors interacting with each other. It's extremely impressive. They did a really good job with the voice casting also. Everyone sounds believable. They all do their roles pretty well. Even the side quests are actually really well done. There's also some really thoughtful quality of life features in this game. Stuff as simple as picking up items and it going straight to your storage bin when you're full on inventory is really, really good. This is something that I wish most games would implement, even MMOs. You would think by now they would actually learn lessons from other games in the past, but most games don't. And this is something that I really respect about Forbidden West, is that they actually took the time to add in all these quality of life things. What really impressed me was when one of the dinosaurs was running towards me. I ran behind a wall, I hid in the bushes, and he forgot about me and he started trying to seek me out. It kind of felt a lot like what I went through when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 5. I really love Metal Gear Solid 5. It's one of my favorite open world games of all time. One of the things I fell in love with in that game was the fact that you could approach a fight stealthily or you can approach a fight guns blazing. So it's all up to you on how you want to actually approach this. Forbidden West does the same thing. So those are the things I really liked a lot about Forbidden West. Now I have to talk about the things that I didn't like. The game takes way too long to really get started. And what I mean by this is that the game is extremely linear for the first at least 3 or 4 hours of the game because it's almost like it's a tutorial. But then once you actually get to the west side of this game, it opens up and actually becomes a real open world game where you can actually climb stuff almost similar to Assassin's Creed, not fully, but it's close enough to at least be believable that you're in an open world game. And it's just sad that I had to sit through nearly 5 hours just to get to that point. And the only reason why it took me this long is because I was trying to explore a little bit. I was trying to do some side quests on top of dying a bunch of times to that snake boss, you know, the very first one. Which when it comes to the difficulty, I actually like the way the difficulty is. I was playing it on normal and I still felt like I was challenged. Another really huge issue was the amount of invisible walls there are in this game. It's all over the goddamn place. I wanted so bad to go to the open world section that I was trying to figure out ways to climb over walls, to like jump over stuff, jump on a box, to like jump over a fence or whatever. Even when I got to the open world section, if you're trying to find ingredients for maybe like an upgrade for one of your materials or your weapons or whatever, it would tell you, oh, you need to hunt a rabbit or something. And it's like, okay. And then I'll put that as my quest. But the rabbit that I needed to hunt was in the next section of the open world. So I decided to just go explore. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to go over there. I eventually run into an invisible wall followed by a message in the center of my screen saying, you cannot go here yet. This right here already like ruined the game for me. I almost uninstalled it at that point because it's like, why would you show me a huge, massive open world that I can explore, but I can't explore it? This is the same bullshit that Assassin's Creed Odyssey puts you through. But the worst part about Assassin's Creed Odyssey is that leveling is extremely slow. But in Forbidden West, they don't have that issue, thankfully. But you have to finish the main storyline in order to unlock the next section of the world. And even thinking back to Ghost of Tsushima, when I was playing that, I never once felt that feeling, even though that game also had the same invisible barriers and all that shit. But at least in that game, I don't know, there was something different about it that I actually really enjoyed exploring more. But then again, it didn't give me a quest to go kill rabbits in the other section of the whole map, you know? So that's the biggest issue right there. The grappling hook is a gimmick. I'm really disappointed with it. And I know the devs probably put this in like last minute as some like quick ploy to make people excited about the grappling hook. But literally, the grappling hook is only used in very, very specific moments. Like if you're going to be pulling like a vent off of a wall or pull a wall down that's like built for the grappling hook, or to use it to grapple onto a platform and just pull yourself to it. It's very specific. It's not like Halo Infinite, where it totally changes the whole course of the gameplay and creates new styles of engaging in combat. Just Cause, where you can do insane things with it, like link a plane to a car and then have the car be like a battering ram for a building or something, you know, like that game was insane. So when I see grappling hooks in this game, it makes me very disappointed because it's not an actual real grappling hook. And this is a big bummer. As much as I said that the gameplay was pretty fun in the beginning, I found the combat system to be kind of clunky at times, especially when it comes to the range combat. I was struggling with the PlayStation controller, man. I'm a mouse and keyboard player. I would love to play this game on the PC to really see what it's like to really aim properly and not have any issues. Even after I went into the options and set the aim sensitivity to strong, it didn't help at all. All it did was just make things worse. Because one of the biggest issues with the aiming is that even if you're aiming directly at the monster's head, sometimes the bolt would just go wherever it wants to. What would have been better is if they implemented a lock-on system with this game, similar to what you would see in like Grand Theft Auto 5 or like Red Dead Redemption, you know, one of those games. Hell, even Assassin's Creed Odyssey had a lock-on system. So pretty much going stealth and actually doing stealth kills was way more fun than actually just fighting normally. So that's a big downside right there. And then there's the unnecessary RPG elements in this game. It's kind of similar to how I felt in God of War when they had a leveling system in that one too, where you have to like add skills, like so Kratos can throw his axe farther, or, you know, dumb shit like that. Why can't he just do that, you know, automatically? And I felt the same way about Aloy. There was a lot of moments where it's like, okay, I just unlocked the ability to shoot multiple arrows. Why couldn't you do that from the beginning? What if you played through the whole first game, you leveled up your Aloy, you got her maxed out or whatever? Why doesn't that carry over to the second game? This is something I think about all the time. Developers never take advantage of this. And I feel like the only game that's ever properly took advantage of this was the Mass Effect games, where you actually can save from the first game and take your save from the first game to the second game and then to the third game. You know, that was awesome. And I feel like this is a situation where it should have carried over. I, for one, would have probably played the first game again if that was the case. So I just don't understand why developers stray away from this. So going back to this whole RPG elements thing, one of the biggest issues that I found was at the very start of the open world part. You run across this big ass T-Rex robot, and the first thing I thought is, man, I gotta take this thing down. So I went to the local camp, I killed everybody there, I found a machine gun. I took the machine gun over to the thing, and I was just gonna unload on his ass and try to do as much damage as possible before I, you know, get down to like really fight him. And then the motherfucker one-shots me. It wasn't until I reviewed the video that I noticed that the monster is labeled as a level 30. And this is the reason why I got one-shotted. This shouldn't be a thing. And you know what's the first thing that came to my mind? I wish that there was a way for me to put a cheat trainer on the fucking PS4 so I could just be max level immediately so I can have fun. This is the reason why I was able to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because I gave myself max level in that game so I was able to have fun throughout the whole game. And Forbidden West, can't do that yet. Once it comes out on PC though, probably gonna have to consider it. Overall though, I gotta admit, this is an amazing game if you've never played an open world game before. But personally, I found it to be kind of boring because I feel like I've seen all this before. And there's games that have done it better than this game. Games like Breath of the Wild, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ghost of Tsushima, hell, even Far Cry 4, which a lot of people say Far Cry 5 was better, but I never played Far Cry 5. Dying Light, the original one, I didn't play the second one yet. Hell, even Assassin's Creed Odyssey did pretty well. At least in that game, there was no invisible walls, at least not all the time. Shit, I'll even go as far as to say that Ocarina of Time is still a better open world than this game. So at the end of the day, I personally don't feel like it was worth the hype. I give it a 3 out of 5.